He has to feel like you need him somehow. And so what that looks like in practice, it doesn't mean you have to be like helpless and stupid. That's not what I'm talking about. Men understand it's the 21st century, and women are going to have jobs. They're going to, they're going to know their way around the world. They don't want some like super sheltered like woman that doesn't know what's going on. Men want a woman who can hold her own. She's financially responsible, she's been out in the world, she knows how life works. So they don't want you to be helpless, but at the same time, they want to feel like they're bringing something to your life that you can't get yourself. And it doesn't have to be something major. This doesn't mean you have to quit your job and put yourself in some precarious financial situation, just so you'll be attractive. I've heard that often. I think sometimes women, when we hear that men want to be needed, I think sometimes we can misinterpret it, and we can often think that, oh, well, I guess I have to shoot myself in the foot to be attractive. And that's not what I'm talking about. A man will feel needed on even little things. If you like the restaurant he took you to and you express and show your appreciation for it. If you have him, let's say your car broke down and you call him and you're like, I don't know what happened to my car, do you think maybe you could take a look at it? Or you let him change the oil in your car for you. Or, if there's some area of things that he's really into. Going back to the car example, maybe he loves cars and that's his favorite hobby. Well, maybe you can ask for his help with something car related and he'll love that and he'll feel needed and important. If you appreciate and be like, hey, I'm having trouble with my car and I know you're really into cars. Like, do you think you could take a look at the engine? He will love that. Let's say he's into photography, and he really prides himself on being a good photographer. Then, maybe you can ask him, if let's say you had to get a new camera, let's say you're doing YouTube and you had to get a new camera or something, maybe you can ask his advice and be like, hey, do you know blah, blah, blah. So again, he'll love that. Men love being asked for advice. Now, don't abuse this. I see sometimes people can turn it into kind of a gimmick. And they can be like, oh, well, ask his advice on blah, blah, blah. And it's like, don't ask his advice on like basic adulting. If you don't know how to, I'm trying to think of a good example, but there are certain basic things in life, like you should know how to do basic banking, you should know how to have a checkbook and a bank account, things like that. You don't want to ask a man things that are kind of like no-brainers. Don't ask for his help with certain emotionally mature things, like you should have your own friends, you should be able to have, enough hobbies and, emotional stability to be able to, entertain yourself when you're alone. Like you should not treat him like, well, I don't have any friends and I need your attention, or I don't like being alone, you have to spend time with me every waking moment. Like those are things you should figure out on your own. You should not need a guy to help you with constant attention 24/7. Basically, you should ask for a man's help in areas that he is likely to have some sort of expert knowledge on. Again, if he's into photography, if he's into guns, if he's into cars, some area that he's really good at and that maybe you're not good at. So for example, things like that, things that he has some sort of expertise in, absolutely ask his advice. He will love it. He will feel very needed and important. Other things like, protection. If you don't want to walk down a dark alley at night, guys are not going to feel bad. They're not going to be mad at you if you ask for help for things with like safety or protection. I will tell you a quick story to kind of illustrate this and to show that this is so fundamental to men. They want to feel needed. They want to feel important. This is something, even if you're not dating men, make it a habit to accept the help men give you. If they want to open a door for you, tell them thank you. If they, if you're at, some convention and some elderly old man working the convention is like, oh, well, here, let me give you an extra, maybe there's swag at this convention. Let me give you an extra one. Oh, thank you. Just accept the help that men give, because it's an act of kindness, and just accept the kindness. Like there's no shame in that. I think that's one of the things about feminism, that it's almost like it's taught us to be ashamed of accepting help from a man, and God forbid needing help from a man. And so that's why women who proudly declare, don't say on like social media or when you're on a date, like, I don't need a man. That's like man repellent. Now, I know what women mean when they say that. I think what they mean is, I'm not a helpless idiot, because I think there is often a false idea of femininity that is pushed, and people say, well, to be feminine, you have to be submissive and helpless and stupid. And that's not true. That's not true femininity. So I think that's where women are kind of coming from when they say that. But that is not how it's interpreted by men. What that means is, I don't need you. I'm never going to be happy with you, blah, blah, blah. And to men, it's like, well, great, I'm going to fail in this relationship, so I'm not even going to get started, But anyways, going back to the story before that I was going to tell, again, men love to be needed, like, wherever you find them. So one time I went to a Chipotle, and there was this guy. He was a homeless guy, and I felt sorry for him. He was asking for money by the door, and I said, well, why don't you come in with me and I'll buy you a burrito? And he was like, okay. And so as I'm in there, he starts hitting on me. It was like really creepy. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is awkward. And apparently he hung around that Chipotle a lot, because when we got to like the burrito line, where like the people there will like start making your burrito and you're like talking to them, the girl was like, sir, you have to leave. You have to leave or we're gonna call the cops. And I was like really confused, and the girl was like, ma'am, he's here all the time, always trying to get money, blah, blah, blah. And so like they kicked him out. And so, so I got my burrito, and then I like sat there eating it, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, that was actually really stupid of me. Like, I didn't even know this guy. So lesson, don't feel sorry for homeless people. Be careful. Like, don't be like me. But, so yeah, as I sat there, I was like, man, I still have to walk out to my car. Like, what if this guy follows me to my car? Like, because it was super creepy. Like, he was hitting on me while I was there. It was really weird. And I was like, man, I'm like actually scared to like walk, because my car was parked in this like really kind of shaded, kind of obscure part of the parking lot. It was not right out in a well-lit area. Like, this was during the day, but it was still kind of in like a hidden area, kind of. And I thought, I'm really scared to go back to my car. And I felt a little stupid about it, but I thought, better safe than sorry, and men like to be helpful anyways. So I went up to the counter, and I asked the girl at the counter, there was like a girl and a guy, kind of standing there. And you know how sometimes when you walk up to like a fast food counter, there'll be the person you're talking to, but then there'll be like a couple other people standing around. They'll kind of congregate and listen to your question, if it's a slow time. It was kind of like that. I walked up to the girl and I said, I'm ready to leave, and with that guy, I'm kind of scared to go to my car. Could one of you walk me back to my car? And I didn't care whether it was a girl or a guy, as long as there was another person there, like a witness, like I didn't think this guy was going to pull anything. And again, it could have been fine, but still, like, my intuition was like really bothering me, and I was like, I don't want to walk to my car alone, And yeah, right away, like, the guy that was standing there, he was like, oh yeah, I'll walk you to your car. And I was like, okay, thank you, and so he walked me back to my car, and as we're walking to my car, this homeless guy comes up again, like he was on a bike, and he comes up again trying to talk to me. And I was like, I'm so glad I have someone with me, because if he had came up to me when I was alone, like, oh my gosh. And so the guy that was with me was kind of like, hey, leave her alone, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, I'm trying to talk to her. And I was like, yeah, like, I'm getting ready to leave, and blah, blah. And like, we kind of like discouraged him and got him to go away. And then, so then I was at my car, and I thanked him. I said, thanks for, walking me to my car. I'm sorry for the trouble. And he goes, oh, no problem. Like, yeah, you try to help people, and, sometimes they aren't worth helping. He was talking about the homeless guy, blah, blah. He said something like that. I don't remember. But anyways, I watched him when he walked back, and I'm telling you, his chest was like, he was just walking back like he just like won the World Series or something. So anyways, I'm going off on a tangent with that story, but you could tell, like, it made his day. So again, yeah, accept the help that men give you. It makes them feel wonderful and they love helping women. That is actually one of the signs of a good guy. If you're worried if this guy's like a player or a pickup artist, see if he enjoys helping you and if he tries to help you with stuff. You know, it could be something as simple as like you're at a buffet and he's like, oh, here, do you want this one? Like this, you know, like let's say you really like mushrooms. He's like, oh, do you want to eat this? This has mushrooms in it, you know? So just see if he's trying to help you, because a good guy will really enjoy helping you. Aside from like the physical pleasures, that is one of their most cherished emotional pleasures in a relationship. They like to help you, you know? So always say thank you, smile, you know, show appreciation. And, you know, if you can talk about the effect his help had on you, like, I'm so thankful that you stopped by and put gas in my car when I was on the side of the road. Like, I was able to make it to an important meeting on time because of that. So thank you. It can even enhance the enjoyment if you explain the effect their help had and how it like saved you from a bigger problem or something. So again, food for thought. It's very important to accept the help that is offered to you, and don't be afraid to ask for help if you genuinely do need it. You know, again, don't be helpless and silly, but you know, we women, we know, you know, there are times where, you know, you really do need someone's help, and men are happy to help you. Good men are happy to help. So don't be afraid to ask. So anyways, that is the end of that video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope there was some good food for thought. So yeah, like, subscribe, do all the things.